Hey, you guys, this one is a little bit more specific. And so, again, as I always say, I am not prophetically speaking into anybody's life. I cannot tell you who you are, what journey you are on, but I will give you what the Lord gave to me as a teacher, as a coach. And He has not let me stop getting this same thing for the last couple days. So I know that it's important. There is a season, if you have been called to consecration for the purpose of a promise regarding a covenant marriage. And the season that he's been highlighting to me is the one where there is deep healing. Like you start to experience the awareness of wounds that need to be healed. And so he calls you deeper. So the Lord already has called you higher and he's already called you to him, but now he's putting you through a season of being called deeper, and it's for the purpose of cleaning up and healing some of these wounds from the inside out. Now, during that season, he will not allow you to be involved with certain types of friends, specifically ones that make you responsible for their entire lives. He shows it to me as somebody in the past that I've known that was my very best friend, and I loved her so much, but she did not treat me the same way that I treated her behind closed doors. It was like we only related on whenever she was like victimizing herself, and I was kind of a caregiver for her. And it was like she would make me responsible to do everything to make her feel better. And this is years and years and years ago, somebody that I grew up with in my hometown, and I had kind of a trauma bond with her, and my life didn't get to go into the direction that it needed to until I separated from her. I didn't know that she was somebody that had actually been operating in a spirit assigned to try to stop me from moving forward and ever really reaching my fullest potential. And then he also brought to my remembrance guy friends, and girls are not going to want to hear this, and I know what this feels like. I was one of the girls that had so many guy friends. Like, I would never, like, do anything with them, but I was like, these are my brothers. Like, I felt really protected having these dudes around me. And the Lord revealed to me that it was a season. Okay, first of all, I was like, this isn't biblical, right? I'm like, I can't tell people this. No, yesterday I got my new Bible, and the first book that he told me to read was Ruth. And I go in there and I'm reading about this season where Ruth is in the field and Boaz realizes that she's in there. He asks these dudes, like, who is this girl? And they talk to her and they talk about how great her character is and everything. But Boaz, first of all, the reason she had favor from the dudes in the first place was because Boaz told those guys to make it easier for her. And then after that, Boaz approached her on her own and said, hey, like, I don't want you to leave completely, but I want you to stay close to the women. Like, I don't want you to be close to these men for your protection. And the Lord showed it to me like this, like, even when we... This is going to, like, ruffle feathers. If you're a man watching this, like, I'm sorry, but this is just what it is. And if you haven't been called to a position that requires this type of consecration, then this isn't for you. But there is a purpose in the reason why the Lord would have you get rid of the guy friends. And it is because he's protecting you. Because we sin in our thoughts. We are all sinners. We would be ignorant to believe that we aren't sinners. Now, we end up getting in these trauma bonded relationships or getting too close to people that are supposed to be on their own journey, you know, and whenever we start to create agreements with friends in our lives and we're intertwined, like, that could be somebody's husband and you are somebody's wife. So you have to really discern if it's your pride that's keeping certain friends around you because of your protection that you've built around yourself regarding being around men. And I cannot tell you, okay, but I just know that there's a season of deep healing that comes after you kick these spirits out of your house, after you allow yourself to be separate and set apart for your position, okay? So these are the two things in the upper room this week. We're going to go over that part in Ruth. We're also going to go over Abraham and Lot. You know, Abraham didn't have the birth of Isaac through Sarah, right? Both of their promise, the promise that started through Sarah, They did not even happen until after Abraham had separated from Lot. So we're going to get deeper into this in the upper room this week and go over what our responsibility is as we are set apart and moved into our training process, or even a waiting process. Ruth was moved into a waiting process, and Abraham was walked into a promise. So I hope that this blesses those that need it. I hope that you guys are doing your part. Don't fall in love with the internet. Get into the Bible. Scroll this, okay? I love you guys.